So, when the World Bank officials visited Nigeria in 2003, one of those things they mentioned was the amount of money Nigeria was owing some banks outside Nigeria and the amount of money Nigeria borrowed from other countries. They stated that the total amount was $35 billion. When this was happening, the population of Nigeria was about 130 million people. So many news outlets began to spread the news that with the $35 billion Nigeria was owing, it means every Nigerian was owing about $270 each, which was a huge amount of money in 2003 and even today. Few weeks later, some prominent Nigerians began to counter what the World Bank said. Some of them stated that they expected the amount to be higher, while some said that the amount was not up to $35 billion, that it should be less than what World Bank claimed. One of those who stated that the amount was less than $35 billion was Mr. Atiku Abubakar, who was then the Vice President of Nigeria. Remember, before Atiku Abubakar became the Vice President, he was a Deputy Director of Customs in Nigeria when Babangida was the head of state. He obviously may have some information about how much Nigeria was owing, considering that as of when he was a customs officer in 1985, customs was still under the Federal Ministry of Finance. So, according to Mr. Ned Nwoko, Atiku stated that Nigeria's debt was $25 billion, while the World Bank officials stated that the amount was $35 billion. $10 billion is a huge amount of money to be considered a mistake. There must be something fishy somewhere. This difference in figures about how much Nigeria was owing became somehow like a national debate. It was during this time that Mr. Ned Nwoko said that he was having a discussion with the then governor of Adamawa State, Mr. Boni Haruna, and the governor told him that the amount of money his state was paying as loan payback was overburdening the state. According to Mr. Ned Nwoko, he also had some discussions with other Nigerian governors who told him the same thing. Apart from the governor of Adamawa, the governors of Niger State, Taraba State, Abia State, and Ondo State complained of the same issue, because what was happening then was that if you are owing any international bank or international organization as a state, the federal government of Nigeria, through the DMO, Debt Management Office, would be aware of such loan and the agreements connected to the loan. So, if the time to pay back maybe 10% of the loan is next month, the DMO will make sure that the 10% is deducted from the allocation the federal government would pay to that particular state next month. Therefore, before the state gets her allocation, every interest or payback that is supposed to be paid would be deducted from the federal allocation they were to receive. So, then, some states who borrowed more was receiving lesser amount of allocation than others.
Can you imagine before then, a state that was getting about $5 billion a month, naira